as Xi Jinping's mighty People's Liberation Army are constantly rising stormy waves of uncertainty in the Pacific Ocean. A controversial question looms large: why China's dream of invading Taiwan will remain as a dream forever. Even though it's a very complicated question, let's try to find out a simple answer to it. If China launches an attack on Taiwan, it seems to be unsure that they will be left alone to fight for themselves, because the island country has gained the support of several extremely powerful allies, and their involvement in the island's defense is crucial for regional stability and security. The United States and Japan are two of the most prominent allies that have committed to back Taiwan in the event of aggression. Even though America may not have a formal relationship with Taiwan due to the One China policy, but their bond runs deep. Their lasting relationship has withstood the test of time, and while formal connections are far away, their support for Taiwan is unshakable. In 1979, the Taiwan Relations Act was passed by the U.S. Congress. The act states that the U.S. would safeguard Taiwan's future from any non-peaceful threats. Armed with this commitment, the U.S. showers Taiwan with defensive weapons, empowering the island to stand tall in the face of aggression. But in case of an emergency situation like where things get really heated up, the USA will step into action. The Taiwan Strait is thousands of miles away from the United States, which means it takes time for the U.S. military to respond and provide assistance if needed. However, the U.S. Navy and Air Force have a strong presence in the region to ensure they can react quickly in case of any potential threats. Now enters Japan. The cool, tech-savvy neighbor next door has deepened economic ties with Taiwan. The two countries maintain extensive commercial and business relations. In recent years, Japan has shown increasing concern over China's aggressiveness in the Pacific region and has become more proactive in its security cooperation with other countries, including Taiwan and the United States. So, it's clear that Taiwan is not alone in this fight. But the Strait of Taiwan is a waterway that separates the island country from the mainland China. At its narrowest point, it's roughly 130 kilometers broad. This massive body of water creates a difficult geographical barrier for any hypothetical military operation which is targeted at Taiwan. Despite being a relatively small island, it boasts a formidable defense force. Over the years, it has invested significantly more money in its military capabilities, especially in the areas of Air Force and air defense assets. The Taiwanese Air Force is equipped with advanced fighter aircraft, giving it the ability to respond swiftly and efficiently to any threats in its airspace. One crucial aspect of Taiwan's defense is its acquisition of Patriot missiles, which provide advanced air defense capabilities. These surface-to-air missiles are designed to intercept and destroy incoming enemy aircraft and missiles, bolstering Taiwan's ability to protect its airspace and defend against the upcoming threats. In the scenario of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, the invading force would predominantly rely on sea transport to mobilize its troops and occupying forces. This approach poses a significant challenge as it necessitates a slow and vulnerable progression. Taiwan's formidable anti-ship weaponry poses a substantial threat to the invading fleet, adding a layer of complexity and risk to the operation. The island of Taiwan is brimming with advanced anti-ship defenses, enhancing its ability to defend against maritime assaults. These defenses act as a formidable deterrent, making it challenging for any invading fleet to maneuver freely in Taiwanese waters. Furthermore, Taiwan's strategic assets, military bases, and cities are widely dispersed across the island. This dispersal strategy presents a complex targeting landscape for the invading force. With numerous potential locations to engage, the operation becomes even more logistically intricate and fraught with risks. The western edge of Taiwan, which is facing China, presents a challenging terrain for any potential invasion. This coastal environment is characterized by cliffs and canals, making it an unsuitable place for an attack. If China intends to launch an attack, it must carefully analyze this geographical component. Adding to the difficulty, there are limited beaches along the Taiwanese coastline, which would serve as feasible landing points for Chinese operations. This scarcity of suitable landing areas poses another significant hurdle for China in its hypothetical attempt to forcefully take control of Taiwan. Not only that, a number of tiny islets are dispersed across the Taiwan Strait. But beyond Taiwan's main island, these small creatures deliver a powerful punch. They have advanced anti-ship and air defense systems, as well as laser-focused radar monitoring on China. These fortified outposts play a crucial role in deterring China's People's Liberation Army from making any bold moves. If China wants to take control of the ports and airstrips on these islets, they've got a tough road ahead. The advanced weaponry and surveillance there ensure that every move by China is closely watched and met with a strong defense. Now, here's the catch. If China decides to go all in and attack these vital points, they'll face a real head-scratcher. You see, destroying these assets in the process would leave them useless for the future. Talk about a paradox. They'd essentially be wrecking what they wanted to gain in the first place. So, the People's Liberation Army has got a dilemma on their hands. Capturing these essential locations means they'll have to face a formidable Taiwanese defense and possibly destroy what they're after. It's like playing chess with the stakes on a whole new level. All these heavily armed islets and the risk of ruining vital infrastructure makes any military action super tricky. If the US decides to step in and protect Taiwan, it could potentially escalate into a full-blown conflict between two world superpowers. This situation becomes even more crucial due to Taiwan's significant role as the world's largest semiconductor manufacturer. Moreover, America's deliberately silent approach towards this issue adds to the complexity and uncertainty surrounding the situation. The involvement of such powerful nations raises the stakes and highlights the delicate balance that needs to be maintained to avoid a major international conflict. The results are equally tricky because any invasion of Taiwan would look nothing like Putin's invasion of Ukraine. When it comes to the game of numbers, absolutely China does have a big advantage over Taiwan in many ways. They've got a huge population of 1.4 billion compared to Taiwan's 23.9 million, and their economy is a real powerhouse with an $18.1 trillion GDP, while Taiwan's is $1.7 trillion. Even their military, the People's Liberation Army, has over 2 million active forces, way more than Taiwan's 169,000. They've got loads of tanks, aircraft, submarines, naval ships, and artillery, not to mention a massive military budget of $224 billion, leaving no doubt they're the stronger power in terms of pure numbers. But here's the thing, we've seen from the war in Ukraine that numbers don't always tell the whole story. Despite the odds against it, Taiwan's military and economy are actually in a better spot than Ukraine was at the time of Russia's invasion. In 2021, Taiwan spent over $15 billion on defense, almost 3 times more than Ukraine in the same year, and their overall economy was nearly 5 times larger. Taiwan's got more going for it too. Their military is all modern and high-tech, and they've got well-trained soldiers. Thanks to the US, Taiwan's had some powerful weapons for years, like F-16 fighter jets, upgraded Patriot missiles, and tanks. These cool gadgets might not bridge the gap between their military and China's, but they sure give Taiwan a better shot than Ukraine had when the invasion started. And get this, the lowest estimates say China would need over 300,000 troops for a successful invasion. And here's another thing, the Chinese military hasn't seen action since 1979, and not many of their officers have actual battle experience. Even though China's invasion of Taiwan may seem like an inevitable nightmare, but let's consider the reality. Firstly, Taiwan's strategic location plays a vital role in global trade. As the world's leading exporter of high-tech products like semiconductors, it's a key player in the global supply chain. Any aggressive move against Taiwan would disrupt this vital trade network, damaging China's own economy. Tycoon territory.